أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to our class today. I hope and pray that everyone is doing very well. Jazakumullah to you all for joining the class on time. We will begin with our opening prayer, so if you could please have a student to the mic for that.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. Could we have G703, please?
G703.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. So let's start with Dawood. Please follow after me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Good. Read the translation now.
I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the rejected.
Good. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Good. Translation.
In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful.
Excellent. Would you like to recite this prayer by yourself today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rabbi zidni ilma.
Excellent. One more time.
Rabbi zidni ilma.
Good. Okay, so you're stretching over here. Oops, let's get rid of that quickly. So you're stretching over here for the yamad, okay, for the yamad over here. But over here, you were not to stretch because the ba only has a kasra underneath it, okay? So we're not going to say Rabbi, we're going to say Rabbi. Yeah, what are we going to say?
Rabbi.
Good. Rabbi zidni ilma.
Rabbi zidni ilma.
Good. Make sure you don't stretch for the B sound, okay? We're not stretching. We are only going to pronounce it for one count. Rabbi zidni ilma.
Rabbi zidni ilma.
Excellent. Stretching at the end for the alif mad at the end. Okay, well done. Good. And the translation now, please.
Oh Allah, no, oh my Lord, increase me in knowledge.
Good, well done. Where's this prayer from?
The whole Quran, and the verse is Taha, and it's 115.
Good. Surah Taha from the Holy Quran, verse 115. Yeah, good. Well done. Excellent. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic and reciting that for us today. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Ahsanul Jaza.
Jazakumullah. Okay, so class etiquettes and rules, please do make sure you're following them at all times during the classroom, okay? Okay, so the schedule for today's class is that we will be carrying on with the lesson that we've been covering in the past couple of classes, which is lesson number 22, which focuses on miscellaneous rules. And today we are going to pay a particular focus to the rule of Hamza on Ya. Okay, so what that means is we're going to be looking at what we do and what sound we make when we see the letter Ya appear on top of the letter the letter Hamza appear on the letter Ya. Okay, you'll see some places in the Holy Quran where Hamza, a small Hamza, is found on top of a Ya. So in that case, what do we do? Okay, that's what we're going to be focusing on in the first part of today's class. And of course, lesson number 22 is on page 91 of the Talimul-Quran book, if you wish to have a look at that later, okay? And then for our practice text, as we have been doing for the past couple of classes, is that we are going to be practicing Surah Al-Quraysh from the Holy Quran, okay? All right, so let's get started on our miscellaneous rule for today, which is Hamza on Ya. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Oops, to make it a bit easier for you. Okay, so Hamza on ya. Sometimes a Hamza appears on the letter ya with a stroke. In such cases, only the stroke or harakat of the letter Hamza will be pronounced, and we will ignore the letter ya altogether. Okay, so Hamza will sometimes appear on the letter ya, but when we see that happening, the Hamza is the letter that we're going to pronounce and not the ya. Okay, sometimes you see that the Hamza is a bit smaller than the ya, so you might be thinking, oh, it's the ya that we need to pronounce. But actually, we need to understand today, and we've had a look at similar rules before as well. So I hope this will not be completely new to you, but the letter Hamza is the sound that we are going to make. Okay, and we've used this example before as well when we explained that sometimes a Hamza is found on top of another letter, for example, ya, and in that case, the ya acts like a chair for the Hamza to sit on. Okay, and that's its only purpose in that example. So it will not play a role in our pronunciation. So we will not be pronouncing the ya, rather we will pronounce the Hamza and the stroke on top of the Hamza. So for example, this is exercise 22.5 with various examples from the Holy Quran. So as we can see over here, we have, let me try and highlight this, there we go. We have the letter ya, okay? On top of that, we have a Hamza, and on top of that, we have a Dhamma, okay? So over here, we have to ask ourselves, is it the sound of ya that I'm going to make, or is it the sound of the Hamza that I'm going to make? Okay, and the correct answer is that it's the Hamza that we're going to make the sound of. Okay, it's always going to be the Hamza. And the Hamza, of course, has a Dhamma. Okay, the stroke carrying on the Hamza is a Dhamma. So we're going to pronounce this as U. Okay, as you know, Hamza makes a sound of an alif. So U. Okay, so in our pronunciation, we're going to completely ignore the ya. And you can see over here in this box below that this has been written for us the way we should pronounce it. So we can see that the ya has been removed and we're only left with the Hamza. Okay. All right, so that's the example that we're going to start off with, and we'll have student to the mic now, please.
Yes. Could we have G841 on the mic, please?
G841. G841. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, I'll choose an as.
Okay, how are you today?
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Jazakumullah for asking. So, can you start with Dawood and Tasmiyah, and then we can get started?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Excellent. Okay, so as I just explained over here, in this example, we have a ya which has a Hamza on top. So can you tell me, is it the sound of the ya that we're going to pronounce or the sound of the Hamza?
Hamza.
Excellent. Well done. And the Hamza has a Dhamma, so it's going to be pronounced as, can you tell me?
U.
Ooh, excellent. Well done. So altogether, this is going to be Al-Bari'u.
Al-Bari'u.
Excellent. Good. Well done. So we've joined the alif to the lam sakin, al, and then ba has a alif mud straight after it. So that's why we've stretched for 2 counts. Ba, and then ra with the kasra, ri, and then the hamza with the dhamma. U. Al-Bari'u.
Al-Bari'u.
Perfect. Good. Well done. Let's move on. Okay, the next example over here, again, we have a ya with a hamza on top. So what are we going to pronounce, the hamza or the ya?
Hamza.
Hamza. Good. Well done. And what stroke does the hamza carry?
Fatha.
Fatha. Well done. So how are we going to pronounce that?
A.
Good. Well done. Quri'a.
Quri'a.
Good. Qaf with the dhamma, ra with a kasra. So one count each for these. And then hamza with a fatha. So one count for that as well. Quri'a.
Quri'a.
Good. Well done. Okay, so another example over here. We have a ya and we have a hamza on top. What are we pronouncing?
Hamza.
Hamza. And what stroke does the hamza carry?
Kasra.
Kasra. Good. Well done. So this can be very confusing. Okay, so to some students, I understand that it can be confusing because the kasra is actually placed underneath the ya. But we must remember that if we see a ya and we see a hamza on top, it's always going to be the hamza. And whatever stroke is found there is going to be the stroke that's going to be underneath the or on top of the hamza. Okay, so for example, hamza, we are going to pronounce with the kasra. E.
E.
Good, well done. So from here, ta joins onto the lam, til.
Til.
Good. Qaf, followed by an alif mad with a madde kabir on top. So how long are we going to pronounce this for?
4 to 6 seconds.
Good, well done. Tilqa.
Tilqa.
Good. And then E.
E.
Good. Tilqa'i.
Tilqa. E.
Good, well done, mashallah. You're doing very well. Okay. Over here, we have again, this is the ya. It carries a hamza, so we're pronouncing the hamza. And what stroke does the hamza have?
It doesn't have a stroke, it has a sukoon.
It has a sukoon. Good. A sign or a stroke. Okay. The sign is a sukoon. Yeah. Well done. So a sukoon tells us that it needs to be joined onto the previous letter. And so that's a ba mushaddad. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way backwards again. Noon joins onto the ba mushaddad with a kasra. Nabbi.
Nabi.
Good. And then hamza sakin. Can you remember what hamza sakin, what kind of sound it makes?
E.
Okay, what kind of sound is that? Is that a soft sound or is that a jerk sound? What is it?
Jerk.
A jerk sound. Yep, soft jerk sound. Well done. So we're going to join the B sound onto the hamza sakin. Nabbi.
Nabi.
Good, well done. So just be careful it doesn't turn into an ayn sound, but otherwise soft jerk is just fine. Nabbi.
Nabi.
Good, well done. Okay, over here again we have a ya, hamza. So it's the hamza that we're pronouncing, and the hamza carries a
Fatha.
fatha. Good. So it's going to be a.
A.
Good, that's the sound of this. Okay, so we're going to join this alif to the sin. Is.
Is.
Ta joins onto the ha. Tuh.
Tuh.
Zi.
Zi.
A.
A.
Is. Is. Tuhzi'a.
Is. Tuhziha.
A.
A.
Yeah. Is. Tuhzi'a.
Is. Tuhzi'a.
Good. Well done, mashallah. Excellent. Very good recitation. Jazakumullah, you've understood the rule well. Okay, Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. Allah Hafiz for now.
Yes.
Okay, so that I hope everybody kind of managed to understand as we were going through the examples of how it should be pronounced. And when you're going through this exercise in your own time, then this row in the middle over here is just there to help you to explain how our pronunciation should be. Okay, so you can see over here, we've actually written for you over here how it should be recited. Hamza with a dhamma, Hamza with a fatha, Hamza with a kasra, Hamza with a sukoon, Hamza with a fatha. Okay, so that's just there to help you. Just want to point that out before we carry on, okay? All right, we're going to now carry on to the next line. But before I do that, if I can just request everyone to make sure that you click on the attendance form link that's in the chat, and make sure you register your attendance for today. Jazakumullah. Can we have our next student, please?
Yes, G842.
G842.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm good.
Alhamdulillah, that's very good to hear. So can you start with Dawood and Tasmiyah, and then we can start.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Good. Okay. Over here, this is the focus of our rule today. So ya has a hamza on top. So what are we pronouncing, the ya or the hamza?
The Hamza.
Hamza. Good. Well done. And what stroke does the hamza have?
Al-Kasra.
Kasra. Good. Well done. Make sure to remember that even though the kasra is found underneath the ya, directly underneath the ya, it's actually underneath the hamza. Okay? We have to completely ignore the ya in our pronunciation. All right? So let's start from here. Alif with a kasra followed by a ya mad. Okay, so we're stretching for 2 counts. E.
E.
Good. Ta with a fatha followed by an alif mad, followed by which has a madde kabir on top. So we're stretching for 4 counts at least. Ta.
Da.
Good. Well done. Good. And then hamza with a kasra. E.
E.
Good. E. Ta. E.
E. Da. E.
Good. Well done. But stretch a little bit longer for the ya mad. E. Ta. E.
E. Da. E.
Good. Well done. Okay. 2 counts for the ya mad, 4 counts for the madde kabir, and then just 1 count for the kasra. Okay. Well done. Excellent. Again, over here, how are we going to pronounce this bit?
E.
Good. And why is it that you've pronounced it like that?
Because the Kasra is on the Hamza.
Yes, the kasra is going to be pronounced with the hamza. Good. Well done. All right. So, alif with a vertical fatha. Good. Just 2 counts, okay? No longer than that. Good. And then we have a noon with a fatha, followed by an alif mad with a madde kabir on top. So how long are we going to pronounce that for?
4 seconds.
4 seconds, okay? Na.
Na.
Excellent. Hamza with a kasra. E.
E.
Excellent. Good. Ana. E.
Ana. E.
Good. Excellent. One more time.
Ana. E.
Excellent. Good. Well done. If you could just stay on the line for 1 moment, and I'll just be back in a few seconds, okay? Just bear with me 1 moment. All right. Apologies for that. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. So 1 more time by yourself. This example.
Ida. E.
Okay. Have a look at the stroke on the alif.
Ana. E.
Good. But stretch for the alif a bit longer. Alif with a vertical fatha. Ana. E.
Ana. E.
Good. Better. Well done. Excellent. Over here. The Hamza has a sukoon over here, doesn't it? So it's going to join on to the previous letter. I do apologize. I'm just having a bit of a tickly cough at the moment. So I'm having to go on mute a little bit. But okay, let's try and pronounce this, okay? So ha joins on to the ya mushaddad. Hayyi.
Hayyi.
Good, well done. And then ya joins on to the hamza sakin, okay? Hamza sakin makes a soft jerk sound, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yep, so we're going to say hayyi.
Hayyi.
Good, one more time.
Hayyi.
Good, well done. One more time. Hayyi.
Hayyi.
Good, excellent. Well done. Let's move on. Ya with a hamza on top with a dhamma on top. So it's the hamza that we're pronouncing. Ooh.
Ooh.
Good. Ya joins onto the noon sakin. Yun.
Yun.
Yeah, let's try and just elongate the noon sound a bit more. Yun.
Yun.
Good. She.
She.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yun. She. Ooh.
Yun. She. Ooh.
One more time. Yun. She. Ooh.
Yun. She. Ooh.
Good. Well done. And then the last example over here, we have a hamza with a sukoon, okay? We're ignoring the ya. So again, a soft sound, a soft jerk sound is going to be made at the end. So you,
You.
hayyi.
Hayyi.
Good. Ha joins onto the ya mushaddad. Ya mushaddad also has a kasra, so it's hayyi, and then soft jerk sound at the end. Hayyi.
Hayyi.
Excellent. You hayyi.
You. Hayyi.
Good. Well done. Can you try that all by yourself now?
You. Hayyi.
Excellent. Good sound. Well done. Mashallah. Very good. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic and reciting that for us today. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay. So that was exercise 22.5, in which we have just learned about the rule of Hamza on top of Ya. And I'm sure everybody now fully understands this rule. If you don't, and you're having a little bit of confusion, you can always come back to this exercise, okay? Exercise 22.5. But just remember, if you see a Hamza on top of a Ya, then it's the sound of the Hamza that we're going to make and not the Ya, okay? Ya is going to be ignored in our pronunciation, okay? And whatever stroke or sign is there with the Hamza is what we are going to be focusing on, and that's the sound that we are going to make. All right? Okay, so that was exercise 22.5. We're now going to swiftly move on to our next part of the class, which is reciting a portion of the Holy Quran. Sorry, apologies everybody for that. We are today going to be focusing on Surah Quraysh. This is a surah founded part number 30 of the Holy Quran, which is the last part. Okay, some of you may already know this surah, may have heard it, or even may have memorized it, which is excellent. Okay, and we do try and memorize as many surahs as we can from the Holy Quran because there's so many blessings attached to that. Okay, but it's also important, very important at the same time, that we memorize these surahs with the correct pronunciation. Okay, sometimes when we're memorizing surahs, we can just memorize them by listening to other people who may not be reciting them correctly. So that's why it's very important that we open the Holy Quran in front of us and memorize it by looking at each of the rules that we need to cover throughout the surah and then memorize it accordingly. Okay, all right, so this surah has a total of 5 verses, and it was the 29th surah to be revealed to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was also revealed in Mecca. So it's a Meccan surah. Okay, this is the surah, Surah Quraysh. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recite this surah slowly, okay, nice and slowly, so that everybody can follow along with me. And then we're going to have as many students on the mic as we can today, and we're going to be covering this, okay? Make sure we remember all the rules that we have learnt so far, and we try and apply them. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. Okay, so just remember that at the end of each verse we're going to take a pause and stop, so we have to keep in mind all the pausing rules as well, okay, when we're reciting. Okay, can we have a student to the mic, please?
Yes, G844. G8.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm good, Jazakallah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm okay. Just suffering with a bit of a cold, but otherwise I'm okay. Jazakumullah. All right, so let's start. Can you start with Dawood? And then we'll recite the Smiyah together, okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Good, well done. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Excellent, well done. لإيلاف قريش.
لإيلاف قريش.
Good, well done. Okay, let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. Lam, yeah, this is a lam. It has a kasra, so that's why we've said li. And then we have an alif straight after, yeah? Do you see this bit? Yeah, this is an alif, and it has a kasra underneath it, okay? It's not completely directly underneath it. It's a bit to the side, but this still indicates that it's an alif, okay? So this is an alif, and that's followed by a ya mud, because it's a ya sakin, okay? So that's why we've said e like that, okay? Li-e.
لإي.
Good. Lam with a vertical fatha for 2 counts, okay? So li-e-la-fi.
لإيلاف.
Good, well done. Obviously, qaf has a dhamma, so that's simple. Over here, we have a ra with a fatha on top, and then we have a ya sakin, okay? And we've learned that if we see a ya sakin and the letter before carries a fatha, then that is a ya leen. So our sound is going to start off with the sound of ra and going to end with the a sound, okay? Ray.
رأي.
Okay, not ra-a, rather it's going to be ray.
ري.
Good, well done. And then obviously we have a sheen with a kasratain underneath it, but we see that we need to stop straight after it. So this kasratain is going to turn into something. Can you tell me what it is going to turn into?
A shadda.
A shadda?
A
Have a think. What do most of the things turn into actually when it comes to the rules of waqf? A small A sukoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what you meant. But it's a sukoon, okay? Not a shadda, a sukoon. So this the kasratain is going to turn into a sukoon. So that's why at the end of the ray sound, we're going to make a sh sound for the sheen sakin. Reish.
Reish.
Good. Li'ila-fi Quraysh.
Li'ilaf. Li'ilaf. Quraysh.
Excellent. Good. Well done, mashallah. Very good. Let's carry on. إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء. Just start from here.
Please, can we break it up a little bit smaller?
That's fine, no problem. We can take it as slow as you like, okay? إيلافهم.
إيلافهم.
Good. رحلة الشتاء.
رحلة الشتاء.
Good. Well done. You're doing very, very good, mashallah. Okay. Over here, just try and say this again. Tashi.
Tashi.
Good. Well done. So the ta al-marbuta joins onto the sheen. We're going to ignore these two letters in between. Yeah. Remember the rule of wasl we completed? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing over here. Tashi. And then of course the ta has a maddi kabir on top. So we're stretching for that 4 counts. Okay. And then hamza with a kasra, e.
E.
And then over here, we're going to say wasayf.
Wasayf.
Excellent. Well done. Waw joins onto the sad mushaddad. Wassa. And then we have a ya lean straight after it because it's a ya sakin and the letter before carries a fatha. So that's why our sound is going to lean into the ya. Wasay.
Wasay.
Good, well done. And then after the fa, we have a stopping sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply the rule of waqf over here. So we're going to look at the stroke on top of the fa, which is a, what's this? Kasra. Good. So what's this kasra going to change into when we're stopping?
It was a.
What was the one before?
Yeah, it was the same one over here. Do you remember? Start with this.
You do know what it looks like, don't you? Remember what it's called?
Sukoon. Do you remember that one?
Sukoon.
Sukoon. Yeah? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. Just practice that name of that sign, okay? It's a sukoon. So this kasra is going to turn into a sukoon. So that's why we're going to make a f sound at the end, okay? So it's going to join onto that sound we've just made. Wasayf.
Wasayf.
Excellent. Good. Well done, mashallah. Very, very good. Okay, so this is a bit of a longer verse and it's completely fine at this stage if you want to break it up a little bit because there are some difficult parts over here. So don't be daunted when you look at this verse. If you want, you can break it up and then you can try and say it together. Okay, we're going to move on now. Okay, I'm going to move on to another student so that as many students on the mic as possible. But you're reading very well, mashallah. Take your time and read nice and slowly, and just remember that sukoon word. Okay, that's what a kasra will change into when it's stopping. Okay, so that will change into a sukoon. All right, jazakumullah, Allah hafiz. Can we have another student, please?
Yes, G846.
G846. G846. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Okay, how are you today?
Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. Can you start with Dawood and Tasmiya and then we can continue with the verses.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Good, well done. So the student before you has read the first 3 verses. So I'm going to ask you to recite the next verse with me over here. Yeah.
When I read by myself, I think I'm confident.
Okay, I'm sure you're very good, and I'll give you a chance, but I'm just going to ask you to repeat with me first, and then I'm going to ask you to recite by yourself, okay? Because I know you want to have a go, okay? So just so that everybody else can also hear how it's correctly pronounced, that's why I'm going to be with you on the mic for the first bit, and then I'll ask you to recite by yourself, okay? So just follow after me over here. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا.
فَلْيَعْبُدُوا.
Good. When you join the ya to the ain, just make sure they don't separate, okay? The sounds. Ya.
Ya.
Good. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا.
فَلْيَعْبُدُوا.
Okay, good. The dal has a waw mud straight after, so that's why we're stretching for 2 counts over here. رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ.
رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ.
Good, well done. So the dhal joins onto the lam sakin over here, ignoring these 2 letters in between. And then at the end, we're making a bait sound because the kasra over here is turning into a... What does this kasra turn into when we're stopping?
It turns into T.
Into a... Sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
Turns into a T.
Okay, sorry, I
He said he would turn into a T, like by
A
it.
T.
Instead of saying it
Yes,
slowly.
good. Yeah, well done. Okay. Can you tell me what sign it will change into the kasra? I know what you're telling me the correct sound, but do you know what sign it is going to change in?
See that they'll have yeah, never mind, they'll have, but if the opposite one, if it had sukoon, that would be
Yeah. Good. Yes, I heard sukoon. Good. Well done. So this kasra will change into a sukoon. You're absolutely right. Well done. That's why, just like you pronounced, it will turn into a t sound at the end. Okay. Bait, like that. Okay. Okay. Can you recite this verse for me now by yourself?
فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ ذَا الْبَيْتِ.
Okay, good, good. Try, well done. But we're going to read that again now, okay? Because there's a few mistakes in there that we need to correct, okay? First is the ba has a dhamma, so only going to be pronounced for 1 count, okay? Bu, no longer than that. And then the dal is going to be pronounced for 2 counts because of the waw mud. So we're going to say budu.
Budu.
Good. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا
فَلْيَعْبُدُوا
رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ.
رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ.
رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ.
رَبَّ هَذَا
Zal. See that
Zal
last part in there.
الْبَيْتِ.
Yeah.
Good, well done. ذَا الْبَيْتِ. Like that.
ذَا الْبَيْتِ.
Excellent, good, well done, mashallah. Let's carry on, okay? Over here, we're going to join the alif to the lam mushaddad, okay? And we're going to now pronounce the alif with a fatha, okay? I know there's not a fatha there, and inshallah, as you progress in your journey of learning the Holy Quran with the correct pronunciation, you will learn why it is that we are starting with a fatha. But for now, just know that this is a fatha on top of the alif, okay? Allah.
Allah.
Good. الذي.
الذي.
Good. Stretching for 3 counts at least because of the madd saghir on top of the ya sakin. Okay. الذي.
الذي.
Good. أطعمهم من.
أطعمهم من.
Good. جوع و.
جوع و.
Good, well done. So over here in the middle, we see this bit over here. just ignore that for now, okay? What it's telling us is that carry on, okay? It's telling us don't stop over here, okay? That's just a sign in the Holy Quran that you will see, and it tells us that don't stop here, make sure you carry on reciting, okay? So this is not a place that where we can stop, so we must carry on with our recitation, okay? Over here, the ayn joins on to the waw mushaddad, so we're going to make a nasal sound in between. Aywa. Good. Amanahum min
آمنهم من
khawf.
خوف.
Good, well done. So over here, the kasratain underneath the fa will also turn into a sukoon when we pause, when we stop. So that's why we're going to say khawf, okay, ending with the f sound because of the first sakin, okay? So one more time, we're going to say amanahum min khawf.
آمنهم من خوف.
Excellent. Good, mashallah. Well done. Very good recitation. Just keep practicing and just take care of your timing. Okay, so what that means is that any stroke like fatha, kasra, dhamma only needs to be pronounced for one count. And then if you have the other strokes, for example, vertical fatha, vertical kasra, inverted dhamma, those are all for 2 counts. And also the strokes, the rule of madda. Okay, so for example, this is let me try and find one. Okay, we don't have one over here, but in the verses before, so for example, ya'budu, the ya, the wow madda is there as well. Okay, so we need to just stretch for 2 counts over there. So just make sure if you get your timing correct, that's a big part of your recitation corrected. Okay, so just focus on that. But otherwise, mashallah, good recitation. Okay, jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz for now. Can we have another student, please?
Yes, G847.
G847. Assalamu alaikum. G847.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. So can you start with Dawood and then we'll recite the Smiyah together, okay?
Okay.
Yep, so start with Dawood. A'udhu.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Good. And then starting from here, nice and slowly. Okay, let's read nice and slowly. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Good, well done. لإيلاف قريش.
لإيلاف قريش.
Good, well done. Remember your yalin sound, okay? Reish. Good. لإيلاف قريش.
لإيلاف قريش.
Excellent, good. إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء. Okay, let's try that again. Alif with a vertical kasra and then lam with a vertical fatha. So both for 1 count. إيلافهم
إيلافهم
رحلة الشتاء.
رحلة الشتاء.
Good, well done. تاء والصيف.
والصيف.
Good, well done. Waw joins onto the sod with the ya lean straight after. So wasai, and then fa with the sukoon because of the pausing rule that we've covered, where the kasra becomes a sukoon. So that's why I was saying wasaif.
والصيف.
Good, well done. إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف.
إيلافهم رحلة.
Add that again. Rihla.
رحلة
Carry on.
رحلة
Then carry on. Tashi.
تمشي
And then what's this?
تا
Excellent. Carry on.
إيوة وصة وصت
Wasayf.
وصيف
Good. Well done. Okay. Ya lean over here. So that's why we're saying wasayf.
وصيف
Excellent. Good. Well done. Okay. So just keep practicing that rule of the ya lean. Okay. Because wherever we see a ya sakin and the letter before carries a fatha, then we're going to start off with that sound of the saw, for example, over here, and then lean into the sound of the ya lean. Okay. We're going to make a bending sound. Okay. Wasayf.
وصيف
Excellent. Good. Well done, mashallah. Excellent. That was very good recitation. Just keep practicing, okay, as much as you can. And make sure you go over this this surah as well that we're covering today. All right. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. Allah Hafiz.
الله حافظ.
Allah Hafiz. Can we have our next student, please?
Yes. G8 G850.
G850. G850. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm good, Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah for asking. So let's start with if you can start with Dawood and Tasmiyah and then we'll carry on, okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Good. So from here, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا
فليعبدوا
رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ.
رب هذا البيت
Excellent. Good. Stretch the ya lean a little bit more. Bait.
بيت
Good. Well done. So, one more time. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ.
فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت
Excellent. Good. Well done. Ending with a t sound, okay? So the kasra underneath the ta will change into a sukoon. So that's why we are saying bait at the end, okay? That's the sound that we need to make, okay? Also be careful, everybody, that we have a dhal followed by two blank letters and then the lam sakin over here. So just be careful over here. We have to join the dhal to the lam, ignoring any letters in between. So it's going to be dhal. Okay, it's not going to be dhal or anything like that. It's going to be dhal. Straight away, that joining is going to happen. Okay, all right, well done. Let's carry on. الذي أطعمهم من.
الذي أطعمهم من
Okay, remember the meme. عمهم من.
أمهم من
Good. So all together. الذي أطعمهم من.
الذي أطعمهم من
Good, well done. But remember, the meme mushaddad sound is a gunna sound. So rather than saying hum min, we're going to say hum min.
من
Yep, good. Hang on the sound of the meme for a few seconds, for 2 seconds, and then carry on, okay? So just everybody be careful. A lot of you are forgetting the meme mushaddad and the noon mushaddad sounds, which is the gunna rule that we've covered before. So we have to be careful. Hum min.
من
Good. Ju'in wa. آمنهم من خوف. Excellent, good, well done. Same thing for this meme mushaddad, hanging for 2 counts and then carrying on. Okay, hum min, and then this is khawf, because we have a waw lean over here, so it's going to be a khaw sound and then followed by a f sound, because the kasratain over here will change into a sukoon when we're stopping. So it's going to be khawf at the end. Okay, so let's try this one more time. الذي أطعمهم من. Okay, just come a bit closer to the mic. I can't really hear you properly. Let's try that. أطعمهم من جوع و. Good. آمنهم من خوف. Good. Remember the meme ghunna sound. هم من خوف. Excellent. Good. Well done, mashallah. Very good. You took on board everything I was saying and you corrected it, which is excellent. Okay. Just keep practicing as much as you can and inshallah it'll help you. Okay. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. Allah Hafiz. All right. We're just out of time now, unfortunately. Okay. So inshallah we'll try and get her on the mic tomorrow. Okay. All right. Jazakumullah. So, yep. So Surah Quraysh is what we've just covered today. I'd just like to remind everybody to just make sure that you keep on revising the rules that we've learnt so far, okay? Because we do come every class and we do ask you about rules that we've covered previously, and we ask you about different names of strokes and signs. And of course, it's understandable that there's so much to learn that it will take you some time, but you will only learn when you practice. Okay, so it's very important that you keep practicing, keep going over the rules that we have covered so far. Take some time after class each day, just take 10 minutes just to go over what you've learned so that you don't forget it. Okay, so all this effort that you have put into this course, and of course this course is now coming to an end in just a few days, so please don't make that go to waste. Okay, make sure that you keep practicing the rules that we cover. And then when you're reciting from the Holy Quran, point those rules out, that this is the rule that I'm covering here. So for example, I'm covering the rule of ya mad over here. Yeah, I'm following the stroke of vertical fatha over here. This is the rule of ya lean over here. Okay, and then when I'm stopping at the end of this verse, then this kasratain becomes a sukoon. Okay, read it out, say it out like that, just like your teachers do every day. We go through each verse one by one and we highlight all the rules that are included in that verse. Okay, so that's a really good way for you to learn and remember all the rules that we have covered. Okay, if it's only when you complete all the rules that we have covered so far that you can start learning even more rules, okay? Because there are more rules. It's always a constant journey that you're on of learning. So please do make sure that you are revising and remembering the things that you have learned previously. Make sure you don't forget them. Okay, so this was Surah Quraysh. I'm going to set you your homework now. And your homework is to please practice the rule of Hamza on ya. Okay, that's what we covered in the first part of today's class. And that's exercise 22.5 on page 91. And just revise that rule, please. Okay. Also, please take some time to recite this surah that we've covered in today's class. This is Surah Quraysh. You can open the Holy Quran, go to the last part of the Holy Quran, and you can turn to this surah, Surah Quraysh, and start reciting from there. Okay, and you can also, as always, go to Al-Islam, and you can listen to good reciters reciting this surah. So if you're finding it difficult reciting by yourself, then you can always listen and repeat. And that's the best way of learning as well. Okay, listening and then repeating. All right, so that's another resource for you available. All right, so that's your homework. I hope everybody has written that down. And now we are going to finish with our closing dua. So if we can please have a student to the mic.
Yes. Could we have G809 on the mic, please?
G809. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. That's okay. I could hear a lot of echo in the background, but now that's fine. Okay, perfect. All right. How did you find today's class? Did you understand the rule of Hamza on Ya?
Yeah.
Okay. And were you reciting along with me when we were reciting Surah Quraysh?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. That's good. Make sure you do your homework, and that way you can get your practice in as well. All right. So let's start with Dawood and Tasmiyah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Excellent. Good. Well done. You can recite the prayer then by yourself. Okay, over here.
Allahumma arhamni bil-Qur'an al-azim.
Good. Make sure you stretch the lam for the vertical fathah. Allah.
Allah.
Good. Well done. And the translation, please, as well.
Oh Allah, have mercy on me through the Quran the Great.
Ameen. Jazakumullah. Very nicely recited. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. And Jazakumullah to everybody for joining today's class. Please do make sure you do your homework as always. And inshallah, we'll speak to you all again tomorrow. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.